Ladies and gentlemen, I have stated numerous times, I've done numerous segments on the fact that the Mueller report is going to be rewritten. It's going to be summarized. It's going to be rewritten and summarized. Why? Because William Barr stated he would do so. Now President Trump is going to be given the Mueller report before Congress. I'm not certain if he's going to be given the actual Mueller report. So there will be a report written by Mueller where he's like, President Trump was a bad guy who could have possibly, potentially, maybe, in an alternate universe, worked with the Russians to buy Facebook ads. And it was a sophisticated campaign to give Hillary Clinton the popular vote. What? But influence the minds of impressionable people in swing states. And oh, by the way, Trump and Putin hacked the DNC to inform the country that Bernie Sanders was cheated. Okay, it's all nonsense. There's not a shred of evidence that Trump worked with Putin, and he wouldn't even need to work with Putin. In 2015, I wrote in the Huffington Post and Salon that Hillary Clinton would lose to Trump. I stated that in all the articles that I wrote that went viral on the left, that were, by the way, given a stamp of approval by every editor, by editors, I should say, at every publication that published my work. Just like editors give the stamp of approval now when I'm published. But Mueller report will be summarized. And just now, White House expects to see Mueller findings before they go to Congress. Of course. Of course they will. Of course he will. You had another key top attorney in the Mueller probe leave the probe today. It's ending. The whole thing is a travesty. And now Trump gets to the bottom of it. Now Clinton emails are going to be yet again in the news because of Lindsey Graham and the Senate Judiciary. I explained U.S. Code 18 U.S. Code 371 in terms of conspiring against the government, defrauding the United States government to implement a criminal or unethical plot. This is an example. H.R. Haldeman and John Ehrlichman were both convicted under U.S. Code 18 U.S. Code 371. They wanted to use that against Trump. But it's going to apply to all of these. It's going to apply to Strzok, McCabe. Check out my segment before this one, and especially James Comey. But let me just read you this, and then I'll get to the actual article that states that he's going to rewrite everything. So, hold on. Mueller report. William Barr. So, William Barr is going to rewrite summary Mueller report. The White House now is going to... William Barr's remarkable non-committal. This is Lawfare blog. William Barr's remarkable non-committal on the Mueller report. He goes on to say that he's going to issue a summary. Then 40 minutes ago, this was breaking news. White House expects to see Mueller findings before they go to Congress. Well, of course. It's Trump's DOJ. He finally has an attorney general. He doesn't have, if it was Sessions, it would be like, don't summarize anything. You know what, Mueller, why don't you write it in front of Adam Schiff and Joy Behar at The View? I think that's what the American people want. I only think that would be fair. I'm Jeff Sessions, the worst attorney general of all time. White House expects to see Mueller findings before they go to Congress. White House lawyers expect to have an opportunity to review whatever version of Robert Mueller's report Attorney General Bill Barr submits to Congress before it reaches lawmakers and the public. Okay, so good, great, fantastic. What does that mean? He's going to alter and revise. Trump to alter and revise That's what he's going to do. He's going to alter and revise the Mueller report, which is going to be fantastic. It's going to drive them crazy. They spent 2 years. They have nothing. Mueller went to Kinko's, and then he went to Office Depot to get the nice little glossy covers, just like a little book report in middle school. And they found nothing. The Steele dossier was purchased by Hillary Clinton, and it was part of a larger story pertaining to the UK's foreign policy. The fact that Russia is linked, Russia provides over 30% of the oil and gas for the EU. And in terms of individual countries like Germany, a great percentage of their energy needs. And I explain how it behooved certain people, the UK government, and this is based on a tweet from William Craddock that President Trump shared regarding the UK government with its intelligence agencies bolstering or furthering or influencing the U.S. to take a hardline stance against Russia, because what I believe to be the biggest issue, the fact that Russia controls so much of the EU's energy supply, oil and gas. And you found Strzok, Page, Comey, Brennan, Clapper, and especially Madam Secretary Hillary Clinton, and intelligence agencies within the UK that teamed up. The Steele dossier is linked directly to the guy who wrote it, Christopher Steele. Then there are reports saying, he didn't write it. Well, I mean, it's all convoluted, but from what we understand, he compiled the Steele dossier. It was purchased by Hillary Clinton with money funneled through her law firm to pay for this dossier that is complete gossip, nonsense, hearsay, conjecture, opinion. It's nothing. It's just nothing. It's just basically somebody. It's like gossip. It literally, if somebody wrote something about you at work, I don't like Bob, signed Bill, fire Bob. That's essentially what it was. Then you have CrowdStrike, a tech firm outside of the U.S. government that was outsourced by the U.S. government, by the Democratic Party. I mean, you have all of these conflicts of interest. The United States government never confirmed, and this is the big issue, CrowdStrike's assessment. And it was only an assessment because they're not 100% certain the DNC was hacked by Russia. You hear these words like it's a unanimous assessment, a viewpoint, a comprehensive, very high-level intervention or influence within the election, interference. These are all broad terms that are ultimately benign terms. Nothing tangible happened. Clinton was a horrible candidate. She cheated Bernie Sanders, who took a dive and basically became a tool of the Democratic Party. She cheated. She lost. She was horrendous to begin with. I stated she would lose. She lost. People were saying that Trump wouldn't even Nate Silver stated Trump wouldn't even become GOP nominee. Look it up. But this is hilarious. White House lawyers expect to have an opportunity to review whatever version of Robert Mueller's report Attorney General Bill Barr submits to Congress before it reaches lawmakers and the public. The attorneys want the White House to have an opportunity to claim executive privilege over information drawn from documents and interviews with White House officials. By the way, also, interesting, AOC is no longer on Justice Democrats. Isn't that funny? Isn't that interesting? Ocasio-Cortez quietly removed from board of PAC she and top aide controlled. Wow, that's interesting. Gee, I wonder why. We can get to that another time. I've done a whole bunch of stuff. Why would she just suddenly leave this wonderful political action committee? I love how they're like, we don't take any corporate money. Yeah, but you take a whole lot of money from people who watch very popular YouTube channels on the left, and then funnel that money, potentially, possibly, allegedly, into corporations. But you don't take corporate PACs money. Oh, you're so awesome. It's like a oh, whatever. They're such hypocrites. It's unbelievable. Justice Department lawyers could advise him against certain assertions if they don't feel it's legally defensible. If Trump does assert executive privilege, the decision could be litigated in court if it's challenged, which Democrats would almost certainly do. Good. Let them obsess over this. Everyone knows it was a bogus, irrational, nonsensical hoax. Everyone knows. You talk about conspiracy theories. There's no bigger one than Trump-Russia. There's no bigger one than Trump colluded with Russia to influence the election and also give Hillary Clinton the popular vote and influence swing state voters through Buff Bernie coloring books. We have no clue which Facebook ads did the most damage, and the Facebook, quote-unquote, influence, and the Facebook executive, a VP of advertising, stated that most of the ads, were seen after the election. Their goal wasn't to influence the election. That's what the VP of Facebook said. And at the end of the day, they still cheated Bernie Sanders. Do you ever wonder, if you're on the left and you still watch this channel, do you ever wonder, because I'm voting Trump 2020, but do you ever wonder why all the wonderful liberal or progressive pundits on the left who don't talk about the DNC fraud lawsuit and don't bring up the fact that Bernie Sanders was cheated and don't defend Assange and don't defend the truth, which is what happened, Bernie Sanders was cheated, ever wonder why they don't bring that up? Maybe it has to do with money, honey, or it completely undermines their allegations against Trump. Trump is supposed to be this authoritarian. Oh, he's an orange monster. Peace between North and South Korea. And then Bernie today, he's such a danger. No, the Democratic Party is a danger. It really is a danger. It thrust the country into a new Cold War simply because it lost. How much more dangerous can you be? How much more dangerous can you be setting up, trying to oust an elected president? We've had a peaceful transition of power from Washington until President Obama. It ended with President Obama. He would not give up power peacefully to Trump. He fabricated. Let's put it this way: Comey, Strzok, and Comey, McCabe, Strzok, Brennan, and Clapper, at the behest of Hillary Clinton, with President Obama's blessing, tried their best to oust Trump, to intimidate him, to waste 2 years of American history. 2 years has been wasted because you have a media, and you had Jeff Sessions, and you had Rod Rosenstein, and you had people working for Trump, you had Republicans, you had Democrats, you had media, you had people who were turncoats and cutthroats and backstabbing, opportunistic, unethical political operatives, and I'm talking about Sessions, and I'm talking about Rosenstein, and Comey, and Clapper, and Brennan, and Strzok, and Page, and all of them, the whole Mueller team, especially Robert Mueller, who wanted to be Trump's FBI director. And oh, by the way, while he was FBI director under Obama, yellow cake uranium, according to yellow cake uranium, according to the New York Times. Believe me, if I'm judged by my detractors, there's nothing much to say about me. I have only the biggest imbeciles and fools and clowns really dislike me, in media. A lot of people do like me in media, but some people don't. And the people who don't, notice there's one common theme, including Kyle Kalinske, who pushed for Clinton. It's a common theme. They all pushed for Clinton. They said, vote for Clinton. Notice, everyone who doesn't like me on the left or in media, and basically on the left, in media, they all said, vote for Hillary. That's their one common theme. Some were establishment Democrats. Some pretended to be Bernie Sanders supporters or whatever, actually took over that whatever the movement was, which it actually perhaps was always a bowel movement. And they all said, vote for Hillary Clinton in swing states. Vote for Hillary Clinton when it counts. Vote for Clinton. And people didn't like when they said, oh my God, I was a little bit too out there because I was, the Democratic Party's a tent, and it's a big tent, and, at the end of the day, you got to just fall in line. I wasn't falling in line. I could think for myself. I had independent thought, my brain was working, and I wasn't going to vote for someone who was just overtly evil. Trump, oh my God, did you see what he said? Do you care about what Hillary said? No, then you're a hypocrite, and be quiet. I love when I've had so many people, like friends of mine, like, he's such a horrible person. What do you think of Hillary? Well, they don't even answer it. They're like, well, don't bring her up. They don't even know, they can't, look, like people on the left or Democrats or whatever, they don't know what hypocrisy is. They're like, what aboutism? No, it's not. You're not saying what about as if it's nothing to do. You're actually pointing out hypocrisy. So your answer to anything Trump does should always be Hillary Clinton, because Clinton has done worse. She's said worse. She's done worse. Her record is worse. Trump is a very good president. He wants to bring home Americans from war. He's bringing home Americans from counterinsurgency conflicts. Maybe not as many and not as fast as he wants to. He wanted to initially, but guess who stopped him? Democrats and media and establishment Republicans. So when people go to me, he's not bringing home soldiers, HA. Like, oh, well, are you upset with that? You should probably, direct your ire and anger and frustration towards the Democratic Party, who even Bernie Sanders said, oh, yeah, it has to be an orderly transition. And I can tell you something. With me, you won't have to buff or wax anything. Vote for me. All of them are paving the way for Clinton, by the way. She's running again. What makes anyone think that a person as power-hungry as Clinton would just simply be like, it's going to be embarrassing if I run again. She doesn't care if she loses again. Which she will. That's a whole other story. Give me your thoughts below. They're going to simply clown the whole establishment like they've been doing. And 2 years doing everything possible to hurt Trump. They found nothing. Give Trump's DOJ 1 week, 3 days, 2 days, 1 day. They'll find the exact intent Clinton had to utilize the server with top secret and special access program intelligence. Just 1 day. Just Brian Pagliano, one person, or Justin Cooper, one person, or Oral Abedin for a day. 1 day. Flip and sing. Andrew McCabe will eventually get indicted. He's under criminal investigation. James Comey will eventually, all of them, U.S. Code, 18 U.S. Code 371. That's it. They conspired to oust an elected president. End of story. It's obvious. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. Check out my segment on HA2A regarding recent horrendous events. I'm going to be perhaps a little edgier. This HA2A segment is not about firearms, actually. It's my firearms channel. But this is actually a segment about a recent, horrendous tragedy that everyone should talk about. That everyone should watch, and it's also my views on a whole bunch of things. Check that out. It's below in the pinned comment. Check out my writing in the Federalist, my HA2A segments. My Patreon is below if you want to support this channel and my voice. Thank you, everyone. Trump's clowning them again. 2 years, and he's going to rewrite the report. 2 years, it's ended in a report. 0 impeachment, 0 indictments for Trump, nothing. And James Baker and Lisa Page wanted to indict Clinton. He was like, there's legal statutes broken, but no reasonable prosecutor. Of course, any reasonable prosecutor would have indicted. All they had to do was find out how she transferred the top secret and special access program intelligence. Hit subscribe right now.